The Patriots have a chance to make a huge move for a superstar wide receiver this offseason. No, it's not T. Higgins. No, it's not going to be in free agency. And boy, would this guy help your New England Patriots rebuild a depleted, talentless roster, especially in the wide receiver room. Welcome in, everybody, to the Patriots Pod. My name is Will. If you're about that Patriots life, you want some analytics, you want some news, consider subscribing below. Give this video a like. And shoot me a comment with your thoughts on all of this. Breaking news out of Miami. Tyreek Hill wants out. After, I think, an 1,800-yard season last year, he put up about half of that, not even cracking 1,000 this year, and he is disgruntled. Now, why do I think Hill would be an incredible move for the Patriots? Well, first of all, we know the guy has insane speed. We know he has a track record of being voted literally the best player in the NFL by his peers, not this season, but the last season, and would completely change the dynamic element of this offense, which has always lacked a true alpha number one, going back 5 years to 2019. 6 now. I mean, that roster, even with Brady, devoid of a true alpha. You tried the Antonio Brown experience, of course. You had Rob Gronkowski the year prior. Going back all the way to Moss is how far you have to go to find someone who can truly, on their own, stretch the field for New England. Now, go ahead and take a listen to this soundbite. This is Tyreek when asked today, maybe it was yesterday, following the loss in Miami, which essentially ended their season. He's very, very frustrated, and in his words, wants out. Take a listen to this clip.
I just got to do what's best for me and my family, dog. If that's here or that's wherever the case may be, man, I'm finna open that door for myself, dog. As I'm opening the door, like I'm out, bro. Oh, you know, so it was great.
As you can hear, he literally says, I'm out. He's opening the door. Now, Mike McDaniel responded to this later that evening in his press conference and was really a bunch of word salad. Didn't have much to say because that's the last thing you want to hear as an offensive guru in Mike McDaniel, that your dynamic wide receiver one wants out of a struggling team. And let me tell you this. Tyreek Hill really made a name for himself playing with, obviously, Patrick Mahomes. Someone who has a rocket arm, someone who can extend outside of the pocket, someone who can create time and excel outside of structure. Does this sound like anyone familiar to Patriots fans? Because I think it sounds just like Drake May. An absolute rocket for an arm, a mobile quarterback who can get outside of the pocket, extend plays, and when you look at a graph of what quarterbacks excel outside of the script or outside of the structure of a play, all the way up and to the right, you have Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and who? Drake May. That's right. Now, how great would it be to make a move for this guy? And now you're not trying to stretch the field with Kayshon Boutte, who might run a 4.5, 4.4, high 4.4s. I mean, you tried the Tyquan Thornton, the tall Reek experience. We all remember how that went. He's actually now in Kansas City. But let's talk about the ways that Tyreek Hill would absolutely change this offense. There's so many benefits. Even as a decoy, he has gravity. He's almost like the Steph Curry of the NBA in that you have to double him and you have to stretch the field. Sorry, it allows you to stretch the field. I mean, if you watch some Patriots tape, they are playing 7 in the box, 8 in the box. I mean, they do not respect any of the Patriots' playmakers, at least this year. They're squatting, they're pressing, they're able to play man, and they're able to blitz and get home and blitz an offensive line that is already struggling. So not having that weapon also affects the offensive line. Because if you have someone that you have to double, you have to play off against, I mean, that's a whole other man devoted to a wide receiver one, and it's a whole other man that's not necessarily going to be QB spying Drake May or blitzing Drake May. And, I mean, obviously it's a tall ask to say, hey, why don't you guys go out and trade for Tyreek Hill? But the fact that he wants out of Miami means he's going to be shopped. And who this offseason might be the highest bidder after all these years, if not New England? Obviously, you have the most cap room. That doesn't really apply here. Yes, you can take on his contract, but you can't have an outright bidding war, right? Because he's not a free agent. But what you do have is a very high draft pick. And I know New England fans are upset that they didn't have the first overall pick, and this would be a whole lot better and easier if they did. But a first-round pick swap with Miami to go down and still maybe get a franchise left tackle or a franchise cornerstone defender and pick up Tyreek Hill for hopefully maybe a first-round pick swap and then maybe another one or maybe a two, I think would totally be worth it to get arguably the best wide receiver in the NFL to pair along with Drake May. It would be a massive move. And the other thing that goes along with that is missing out on the Travis Hunter sweepstakes, which I think you just did thanks to Joe Milton. What good is that fourth overall pick when it should have been the first overall pick? So try to think about that and realize that you could have Tyreek Hill stretching the field the way that Travis Hunter would have been, but he already is a plug-and-play player. He's fully developed, and he would completely change the game for Drake May and this offense. Open things up underneath for Pop Douglas. It would open up the run game, make things easier on the offensive line, and you could actually have a dynamic superstar on your roster. All for the price of a lot of draft capital, but I think it would be worth it for a trade back and another first, or a trade back in a second. Leave me a comment if you guys think this is something the Patriots should pursue early on in this offseason. Travis is not going to be there, most likely. But Tyreek, oh man, him and Drake, I mean, I'm dreaming just thinking about it. So let me know what you guys think about making that move. If there's anyone else you think you'd rather target in free agency, obviously there is the T. Higgins sweepstakes, which will begin if he even makes it out of Cincinnati. But if you could get Tyreek Hill in here to go along with guys like Pop Douglas underneath, Kayshon Boutte, who's come on nicely, and even draft another young wide receiver, or hell, get T. Higgins too. You have all the money in the world. I mean, you could completely revamp this offense. So, thought I'd share that with you guys. Definitely breaking news out of Miami that Tyreek Hill wants out. Could we see an in-division trade? We'll have to stay close to it. And thank you guys for watching, for listening. I'm Will, and see you guys in the next one. Thanks.